It's time for Talkin Tauntauns, your Star Wars source at AIPTcomics.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talkin Tauntauns, the official Star Wars podcast for AIPTcomics.com. I am JJ Travers, and I'm joined this morning, as always, by Nicole Herview and Jim Lahane. Today we're going to be talking some Star Wars Celebration news, some trailer news, Obi-Wan Kenobi, along with every other Star Wars podcast and Discord and fan group on Earth. We're also talking about that. A shock, I know. But before we get to that, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Been like 3 weeks to a month since I've recorded an episode. I missed the last two. We missed the last weekend because we took a break. How are you guys? I haven't actually had an actual conversation with you outside of text in a while.
Busy. The house is coming along. I've been putting in electrical left and right. The basement waterproofers were supposed to come back in and put a sump pump system underneath the foundation wall, and their truck slid down the driveway, and so they deemed the iciness not able to do it, so we've been rescheduled in another 2 weeks, which is fun because they scheduled us 4 months out when they came out in November. And so still our house is a literal disaster, more so than before, because now everything is crammed into less space to be away from the foundation walls so they can work on that. That's about how my life is going.
Well, the Instagram posts are interesting. It looks like you're making a lot of progress in a pretty short time frame. I will say that.
It has not been a year yet, and we are chugging things out as quickly as we can. The goal right now is to get my daughter her own bedroom. We have the walls. She has the electrical. I need the frost to thaw out because I need to fix part of the foundation on the outside of the house, and I need to dig down under the deck. So I got to wait till it's not snowing to do that. So we're kind of at a standstill on that at the moment.
That's a lot.
It is. How are you doing, Holly? Or Nicole? Oh, God, we were talking about Holly earlier.
I was like, I thought you said Ollie, and that is my cat's name. So I was like, hello? No, I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. I took a short vacation, quote unquote, staycation, really, from work. I was off last Friday through this past Wednesday. Then worked Thursday and Friday, and now obviously it's the weekend. So I had a nice long break in which I saw a few movies by myself, saw some friends, hung out, was, had a good time.
You were going to say, I saw a few movies by myself, saw some friends by myself.
Yeah, right, by myself. No, it was good. It was really, really nice. I went to see The Batman, because of course I went to see The Batman. And then I went to see Studio 666, which is the Foo Fighters comedy horror movie that was horrible and delightful. Like, I highly recommend. It's atrocious. It's so much fun. And The Batman's The Batman. It was great. Like,
I'm waiting for streaming.
I was the target audience for that Batman. Like, let's be real. The movie begins and ends with Something in the Way by Nirvana. I was having a good time. I was very happy.
Don't tell me if his parents die.
I won't. You know what? I won't spoil that for you.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, very much liked it. And then yesterday I discovered my new favorite trilogy of movies. I know this is sacrilege on a Star Wars podcast, but I'm going to get into it. The Dark Knight, Birds of Prey, and The Suicide Squad. My new favorite 3 movies to watch in a row ever. They do work. You wouldn't think that it works, but it does. Because in Birds of Prey, I tweeted about this. Because in Birds of Prey, you don't actually see the Joker. You could very easily be like, that's the Heath Ledger Joker, and just move on with your day. And that's a trilogy of movies now. And there's just like a 10-year gap in between the two of them. It's very fun. It was a tonal shift and a half, but it was very fun to watch because also there's an actor, Dave DeSmulchin, who's in both The Dark Knight and The Suicide Squad as different characters. But are they? And I found it very
Polka
fun
Dot
to
Man?
be like, Polka Dot Man and then one of the Joker's goons. And you're like, but are they? different people. Could they be the same guy? The answer is no, they're not. But it's real fun to kind of explore. So that was my weekend so far.
And next up on the Batcast, we're going to talk about how Joel Schumacher created the best Batman.
Oh, boy.
Did you watch Peacemaker yet, Nicole?
No, I have not watched Peacemaker yet. I'm watching a different show that I'm trying to get through. And because, like, I have both of my parents and my boss telling me to get through this show. So I'm getting through it, and then I can watch Peacemaker. But I've been watching The Last Kingdom for what feels like most of my life. It's excellent, but it's not bingeable, and that's, like, the problem for me. I can watch 2 episodes at a time because it's so heavy. And then I'm like, I need a break. So it's taking me forever to get through it. But once I get through that, I've got about a season and a half left. Then I'll watch Peacemaker. And I will finish Rebels.
Eventually.
But The Last Kingdom is getting in the way. Not that that's a bad thing. It's an excellent show. And if you like Game of Thrones and that kind of vibe, this is better. So watch it.
The wife and I just watched Peacemaker, and I give it 2 big thumbs up. It was very funny. I highly recommend it.
I've seen the opening. The opening. That was enough. I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, John Cena is, like, unexpectedly delightful as Peacemaker.
Why is he so good? Like,
I don't know. Like, I thought he would do
good.
fine, but I didn't think he would be as good as he was.
Yeah, he blew me away.
I've heard
in
he's
the
getting
Suicide Squad.
better as an actor over time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I would highly agree with that. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. And we just started 2 series. We're trying The Nevers. It's 6 episodes now, and then 6 episodes for the second half. It's on HBO. There's a lot going on, but it's like Victorian fantasy sci-fi stuff. Joss Whedon wrote and directed it, and then got the boot, and they have a new showrunner. But it's very good. It's just there's a lot going on. And we also started watching Euphoria, which is really intense. But I'm a big fan of Zendaya. But yeah, man, I that show's really intense. It makes you pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why I can't watch it. I'm like, listen, I respect the hell out of this. I'm sure it's excellent. The actors seem to be doing great work. I'm just never going to watch that shit. I watched the pilot, and I was like, no. Like, this is great. It is objectively good, but I can't handle that. Like, I know
it's a
I
lot.
can't.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. If I can't binge The Last Kingdom, which is just really a bunch of good-looking guys with swords, then I can't do that.
All right. Well, I'm not going to bore you guys with baby talk, so why don't we talk about Star Wars? Yeah. So, Star Wars.
How are you doing? What's going on in the baby world?
Oh, just losing my mind, planning multiple baby showers, finished the nursery finally.
Multiple.
Yay.
I'm sorry. Multiple baby showers. You need to back me up there.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm very happy about it.
Can she hear you?
Probably. I'm probably in trouble after this. Her sister is 2 weeks behind us, so we're having one baby shower with her sister and that side of the family, and my mom and sister, because that's really all I have for women on my side of the family. And then she wants, Nicole wanted to have a baby shower that's just a small group of our friends that's not with her sister and all of those people, so we're having another one. Yay.
I'm giving birth to a house. That's just as, I think it may be just as painful. I don't want to minimize.
I'm giving birth to a novel, so
also painful.
Not quite on the same level.
Different
pain. Different pain.
Yeah, so
you'll be okay, JJ. It'll be all right. Like, this too shall pass. You will get through it. It'll be okay.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great. Eventually, the baby will be born, and you'll have
3 months to go.
Yeah,
3 months to go. Trying not to panic.
God. It'll be okay.
You
The
will
panic
yeah,
is
okay.
good.
Let's talk about Star Wars now. I've had
Okay.
enough baby stuff. Jim, I believe you have a number of celebration-related announcement and news pieces to share with the world.
Yes, for what seems like forever, Celebration had gone silent. The official Star Wars Celebration, like their Twitter app, they would, like you go back through their history and people would ask questions about when are we going to see updates about something. And they'd be like, coming in the near future. This goes back like to June of last year. They would be saying this up until like last month. They were saying it. Well, finally we have updates. And I think their hesitation to announce anything is they weren't sure if this was going to go ahead. And so everybody was hedging their bets. The 501st does this huge party called the Bash. No information on that had been released. And from information I could glean, it was because they were waiting to see if this was actually going to happen. Well, Celebration in this last week on March 7th have announced that indeed tickets are going back on sale for the first time since they went on sale in 2019 for the 2020 celebration that never happened. And so tickets, if you're listening to this, the show's going to be released on the 15th. Well, they go on sale today on the 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is 12 Eastern time. And so they're going to be limited, I assume, mostly for the tickets that people had returned that didn't want to hold out on their tickets. And the cost actually seems to be a little bit cheaper than what I paid for them. At least for the 4-day tickets, it looked like it was about $20 cheaper than what I paid for it. But on top of that, they have also released exclusive merchandise for the store, all of which gets a big meh from me, but I know a lot of people like it. Knowing Celebration, they'll have a ton more official merchandise and stuff in the store. A lot of it's great. A lot of it's not for everybody. And so I'm excited to see what they're going to have coming out. Several vendors have confirmed that they're going to be at that celebration. I know I saw Del Rey, obviously, is going to be there. And D23 is actually going to be there. I saw that they are hosting a dance parties bash sort of thing.
Wait, remind me what D23 is?
D23 is the Disney fan club, basically.
Okay, because I thought that was like its own like convention.
It is.
D23,
D23
they have one as well.
They have one this year in September, which is weird because it seemed like trying to alternate off and on with Celebration 1 year, then D23 the next year. And having one this year doesn't make any sense because D23 is named 23 because Disney started the Disney Company in 1923. What is next year?
That'd be 23.
That would be 23, 100 years. So you'd think D23 would be next year unless they're planning something super huge next year
They
and wanted to
probably
get
are.
a smaller convention out of the way this year.
Yeah. That would be my guess. I mean, Disney loves an anniversary. Like, loves
Exactly.
an anniversary. Like,
And
it's
this
so
is
a
a huge
centennial?
one.
Whoo,
Yeah.
buddy. It's going to be, I will probably go to D23 for the first time next year. Like, I'll probably, and if Celebration is happening next year, I'll probably go to that too. But
They're not going to have a celebration next year.
Okay.
They
Well, the next
specifically
celebration-
tried to alter the calendar so that they're
Yeah.
every other year.
Well, they also missed last year. So, and the year
It was 2 years
before.
ago.
So,
It was 2020.
right, but they both missed one, so that
Yeah.
makes sense for me to like that they're making up for that so that you get both this year, and then next year they'll probably start alternating again. But
Yeah, that's my guess.
wild.
Other news on Celebration is the podcast stage has been announced, and they are accepting applications for that, which we are going to put in our application. We're working out the details. So far, I will be at Celebration. I know Nicole and JJ will not. Connor will be at Celebration for part of the time, so I'm going to see if he can somehow finagle to come. I'm trying to finagle him a 4-day ticket. He only has a 1-day ticket right now. And so, yeah, lots of information. coming out quick on Celebration. So I imagine with it being at the end of May, we're going to be overloaded with Celebration information in the next couple months.
Yeah, I won't be there this year just because of other stuff going on. Like, your girl's going to Europe, okay? Like, I can't afford to go to California. I didn't tell you guys this. I've been planning this trip for like 3 years, and it's actually happening. But yeah, I'm going to London and Paris in, should I say this? Yeah, it's fine. In August. I'll be in London and Paris. So, yeah. That's like a fun thing I'm doing. So that's money. And then I'm going to Disney for my birthday, for my 30th birthday. So I'm paying for that. And I'm trying to buy a house. So I won't be going to Celebration this year. Well, that's not happening.
Well, I just bought my plane tickets, waiting because I was waiting. I'm like, I don't want to deal with the delayed, canceled thing again, and so I haven't bought my plane tickets. But when they announced the new tickets going on sale, I'm like, okay, they're doing this. I will get my plane tickets now. Holy God!
Air travel right now is bananas.
Yeah, my friend.
I was gonna say I lived in Utah when I planned this whole thing. Utah to California, you can get a round trip flight for like $13 and a bag of peanuts. New York to California, yeah, not so much.
It's rough. It's a rough time.
Yeah, my Pat, you both know.
Yes.
We're trying to plan him a bachelor party, and we looked at Vegas, and it was like almost $500 round trip. And it's supposed to be cheap to fly to Vegas, so I was like, yeah, I can't justify that with a new human coming into my household.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse for no Celebration, no Vegas, and basically no anything for the foreseeable future.
That's fair enough, I think.
Yeah, Syracuse Syracuse is my local airport, and it is a pretty major city. I also have Rochester not too terribly too far away, so I'm looking between those. And Southwest flies into both. Southwest one way to LAX was $700 on the way I wanted to go. Like, that's Southwest.
You could probably just pay less to drive by a lot.
Well, not with gas prices right now, my guy.
Oh, yeah. Especially my car.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I don't want to...
I have a pickup truck.
Oh,
I don't want to tell you guys how much a transatlantic flight was. I'm not going to. It was stupid. It was unnatural.
Well, I've flown to Spain before, and it was not cheap then, but ExxonMobil was paying for it at the time.
Oh, that's nice. No, it was it's not ideal, man. That's all I'm gonna say is it's not fun. But thankfully my friend had a bunch of airline miles to use, so I don't actually know what our grand total was, but enough for me to be like, I'm not flying anywhere for a while. Thank you. Like woof. That's all.
Yeah, but my lesson here is the Hopper is great. The Hopper got me a round trip ticket for $420.
Wait, sorry, what's the Hopper?
The Hopper is a app, basically a discount flight app.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yes, definitely cheap compared to every other outlet I've looked at. It was $200 cheaper than anything I could find, even with paying for bags.
Yeah, so Celebration's happening. Nicole and I aren't going. Maybe one day in the future we'll make it. Hopefully we will. But we're not going. But Jim is, so you're going to get reports back from Jim.
Yep.
Any other news out of Celebration, Jim?
As of right now, we're recording on the 13th because things are coming out fast and furious. That's it for right now.
So, to confirm, is it officially back on, or are they?
It was never officially off.
Okay.
Like they announced it for the end of May, but everyone was holding their breath because they hadn't announced anything with that announcement. Or like, we're doing it at the end of like May 26th is day one. Or like, we're doing it May 26th, and then nothing for like over a year.
Got it.
And so everyone was like, is this really happening? Like, really, really happening?
Yeah, they were waiting.
Yeah, they were
waiting.
definitely waiting. And so with this ticket announcement, it's like everybody's like, okay, it's happening.
Yeah, they're not going to sell tickets. So this is another thing. Similarly, like just to indicate the way tickets are happening right now. I've had My Chemical Romance tickets for 2 years, and they just kept like postponing for very good reason, obviously. And they just put any remaining tickets back on sale this past week and announced their openers, which we had never had openers for this tour. So they're like, it's happening. And I'm like, I'm going to hold my breath until September is what I'm going to do. But yeah, it kind of seems to be the way of things. Like everything seems to be back on, which is, I'm kind of waiting for another shoe to drop. But yeah, it seems like stuff's happening.
I guess there is one more celebration news. They did announce the health guidelines. Everybody to go to Celebration, you need to be vaccinated. You need to wear an approved mask, which I had not seen anywhere what their approval of a mask is.
Probably not a costume mask.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not a costume mask, but like specifically, I have not seen specifically. I'm assuming N95 grade or above, but
I'm guessing they might let you get away with surgical mask because when my wife and I go to our baby appointments, that's what they require to get into the office. So I feel like if that's good enough for a doctor's office, maybe it's good enough for Celebration.
Just not fabric masks.
Yeah, but basically they haven't stated what those guidelines are, so it's pointless to even guess what they're looking for. But yeah, they have stated that that anytime you're indoors, I think you need to be wearing the mask and vaccinated, which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's good to hear. Are you guys ready to talk about the trailer?
Your tauntaun will freeze before you reach the first marker. Then I'll see you in hell.
Hello, what have we here?
What trailer?
What trailer?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yes, obviously.
Nicole's on my train now.
I'm born ready.
What has he done to you in my absence?
This. Listen, he is Emperor Palpatine. I am Vader. I'm
gosh.
Speaking of Palpatine, I got comments about Palpatine in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that wasn't Palpatine. Sorry.
I knew what was happening, but I was like, I'm going to let him go.
Oh, boy.
Just
Okay.
gonna let it happen.
It's a criticism that people are having across the trailer in general.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll get
All right,
there.
before we get to that,
Before we get there.
yeah, okay. So, the other day,
A thing happened?
a thing happened. It was my birthday when this dropped. Thank you, Star Wars.
Happy belated birthday!
Happy birthday. We didn't
Thanks,
know.
guys. Yeah, I don't put it out
I
there.
need to write that down.
March 9th is when this trailer dropped. So, I was working and doing my thing, and I just happened to open, I don't even know why, since I barely touch Twitter anymore, but I just opened Twitter, and it was one of those very lucky situations where, like, 2 minutes after they posted it, I saw it, and I was like, holy crap. So I threw it on, and it was the Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser trailer, our first actual look at the show. So if you're not familiar somehow and you're listening to a Star Wars podcast, that's pretty crazy. But a quick breakdown. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series is a 4-episode limited series.
4? I haven't seen anything about how many episodes it was.
I saw that it was 4 in the this could be wrong. The Wikipedia page says it's 4.
Okay. That's why I'm not doubting you. I just literally have not seen anything that said how many.
I could be wrong. Wikipedia is certainly not infallible. Of course not. But usually with the shows, they're pretty good. Oh, you know what? No. I see under the episodes, it shows 4 with who directed and wrote them. But right at the top, it says this will be a 6-episode miniseries. So I guess that's
okay.
I
do remember hearing 6.
I guess that those are the only episodes that they have the writers on, and maybe that's why it's under the episode number. But either way, 6 episodes that we know of, and the trailer let us know that this is going to premiere on May 25th. which is awesome. We assumed it would be in May, which was a pretty obvious guess because May the 4th and Celebration. But yeah, so we've been waiting for this for a while. They brought out Ewan McGregor in one of my favorite videos ever from Celebration, and it was at the very end, and everyone kind of suspected it might happen. And when he walked out, we all knew, but it was still such an awesome moment when Ewan McGregor had Kathleen Kennedy ask him if he was ever going to reprise the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And even though we all knew what the answer was going to be, I still collectively lost my mind with everyone else. So yeah, we've been waiting for a couple years, and he's known for forever, apparently, about this series. It's going to take place 10 years after the events in Revenge of the Sith. And from the trailer, we learned a number of things about this. So yeah, I don't know where to start with this. There's just so much cool things going on. The biggest surprise, he is on Tatooine. I know that'll shock all of our listeners.
I think the biggest surprise is that Luke is in it.
Yes.
Oh,
Another shocker.
Little baby Luke. I'm gonna start, if I may, with
please.
The highlight of the aside from just seeing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi again, that's the highlight for me, right? Like, obviously that's just the sight of it is enough to make your girl cry. John Williams, what the hell? Like, what the hell is the score of this trailer? That is, listen, we all know my love of Duel of the Fates runs deep, but are you kidding me with how phenomenal the music was in this like minute long thing? I was like, can I make just this my ringtone? Like, just this. Like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, so we got Duel of the Fates, Battle of the Heroes, and some of his new music.
Yes.
Yeah.
All in one trailer. Pretty cool.
I don't know if we even talked about he had signed on to do this show, at least in partnership with perhaps somebody else, because that's how he did. I don't remember if it was Rogue One or Solo. He had done one of those in partnership with somebody else, but he had signed on to do this as well. So he does have new music coming out.
Chills.
And you're right. Duel of the Fates, when it starts playing, it is legit one of my favorite Star Wars music, if not my favorite. I love Duel of the Fates. And
Goosebump inducing.
And it makes you wonder, is Maul going to be in this?
Don't say that to me. Don't look at me in the face and say that to me. I'll cry. Yeah, probably.
Because
maybe.
timeline-wise, we'll get
He's
now
alive.
again to the timeline. He is alive at this point. This takes place. So the end of Solo is at... we're going to do BBY before the Battle of Yavin. The end of Solo is at 10 BBY. This, taking place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, actually places it at 9 BBY. So it's 1 year after the end of Solo, where we know Maul is still alive because Maul dies in later canon when we see him again. I'm not spoiling.
I know, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen Sam Witwer talk about it. I've seen it.
It's such a cool scene. It is such a good scene.
Wait. I cannot wait to get there, but yeah, I know my boy's dead. It's okay.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Rebels, watch Rebels.
Yeah, now's the time. I'm working on it. Y'all know I've been working on it. I'm working on it. But yes, join me.
So
Watch
Rebels is not just involving Darth Maul, it's involving another few characters that we see in this trailer.
Nice.
That is called a transition, folks.
That was
and
great.
that wasn't even
That
that
was-
was like flawless right there.
Yeah, I don't want to brag.
Kiss.
So the first sign that I knew what we were going to see was a very distinct black, ominous-looking ship flying up to some sort of what looks like a military fortress that's in the water. It's very black and ominous, and we've seen this before if you've played Jedi Fallen Order. So this is a very famous underwater base, and it's located on the moon of Nur, in the Mustafar system. So this water planet, and it's kind of opposite of Vader's lava planet, but it's in Vader's system because this is the home base of the Inquisitorius, which is something that was first introduced in Star Wars Rebels. If you're not familiar with Star Wars Rebels, the Inquisitorius is a really cool organization that was it first introduced in
The comics?
the comics or Rebels?
The timeline would be close.
Either way.
It could be either way. We first saw them in action in Rebels, but you're right. It may have been the comics first. I'm not entirely sure.
You know what? It was. It was in. Well,
It seems like something Charles Soule would have introduced.
yeah. You know what? It was actually Star Wars Rebels. I just found it right here. On-screen debut in 2014 in Star Wars Rebels. Okay, so that aside, a quick overview of the Inquisitorius is important here because that is it's going to play a very key role in this series from what we've seen in the trailer. It is an organization created by Emperor Palpatine to hunt Jedi. They are Force wielders. They have red lightsabers, but they are not Sith. It's a very important distinction.
Point, because people online keep calling them Sith. Like, oh, and look, that's Sith. They are not Sith. Yes, because rule of two.
Yeah.
Rule of two.
And just like, they're just not. They're just not the Sith.
Yeah, so this is super important. And I hope that they talk about this a little bit. You know, Rebels in the comics have dug into this and made it abundantly clear, but you can't expect everyone who's watching this series to have read the comics and watched Rebels. Nicole.
Wow, listen.
One line drop is all you really need. Like they would...
Yes.
Like, just one line. Say, we're not Sith, or they're not Sith, or something to that effect. We know Vader's in this.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. It's really important, though, because Emperor Palpatine does not view them as Sith. Vader does not view them as Sith. He pure straight hates them.
Vader doesn't view anyone besides Palpatine as important as him.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a little spoilery here not with the show, because obviously I don't know what's gonna happen, but about these characters, because I do know a lot about them from the comics and Rebels. So if you don't want to know a lot about the Grand Inquisitor and the other folks with red lightsabers in this trailer, you should probably stop listening to the episode at this point, because I don't want to ruin it for you. But if you're interested and you want some lore, hey, let's hang out. So, the Grand Inquisitor, we don't know his name. We just know that he's a former Jedi Temple Guard who is now in charge. Well, he's not in charge, but he's leading the program. And then at some point, Vader is put in charge of him and the rest of the Inquisitors. The Inquisitorius is led by the Grand Inquisitor, and each Inquisitor is given a number. So you're either 5th brother, 7th sister, 8th brother, 9th sister. Everybody gets a number, and you're either a brother or a sister. No one has names. Most of these are former Jedi, but not all of them. And they've either been tortured or coerced into working for the Empire as Inquisitors. And their one and only job is to hunt down Jedi who survived the Great Jedi Purge, like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, let's chat real quick about our Grand Inquisitor friend, shall we?
So we get to see him in live action.
To see him. I have thoughts. I was like, is that Anakin? And then I was like, no, it's not. I had a hot
this is my comment
that it might be Anakin.
This is my comment before. I thought, is that Palpatine without the hood on?
Right. I was like, huh? Because we've seen this race before.
Powans.
Yes.
This
is what people are upset about.
What? And they looked horrifying, like in the best way. I love that design. What?
But
happened?
We've seen this character. Like Powans can look different. You can have Powans with larger heads. That's not a problem. The problem is we've seen this character before.
Right. And we know what he looks like, and it ain't that.
Yeah.
And that's my one, like, it's obvious, let's not like beat a dead horse for too long. We all know that that's not great, right? Like, we can kind of move on from that.
Well, I have some thoughts
Because
really
I got
quick.
something else. Something
Before
else
you
on
give
that.
your other something
Yeah, go
else,
on.
I have some thoughts on this. A couple of things. One, we can't expect a transition from animated to live action to be perfect, but
Cad Bane.
we
Cad Bane.
yeah, we did see. I love Cad Bane, love
I
it.
do too.
But we did see these guys in Attack of the Clones, and as the entire
Revenge
internet
of the
has.
Sith.
It was Revenge of the Sith, buddy, but you're close.
Revenge of the Sith, my bad. The point is, we saw them before, and they looked super different from this guy. So my guess is,
like the
this
first
is
place we've seen him is live action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess here is this is a situation similar to what happened with Ahsoka, in that having the character look like that to do the scenes that he needs to do, which is a lot of fighting and torturing and running around with a lightsaber, from a prosthetic and makeup standpoint, it probably didn't work. That makes sense to me, because it was a big, long, narrow head, and
Big head.
like,
I think it's it's an actor thing. Like, get a different actor that has a different shaped head. Like,
yeah, I don't know. As
Listen.
long as the series is good, no one's gonna really
Oh, yeah.
complain after the fact. Everyone will forget
Sure.
about it. But yeah,
Well,
it is pretty weird. I'm just trying
like-
to. I'm being an apologist right now. I'm trying
Sure,
to justify.
you're
it.
allowed. You're allowed.
my biggest thing is like the first we see him twice in the trailer. Sorry, Nicole.
Go
We see him
on,
twice
buddy.
in the trailer. First time you don't see any of the lines. The second time you can see them, and so the second time they show him, he does look more Grand Inquisitor-ish. But the first time you see him, I don't see any of the lines. They are barely
You can see
there.
them. I'm
you
at
can
the
see
point
them,
in the
but
trailer.
they're really
barely
hard
there.
to see.
Yeah, it's true.
The second time is much better.
But he's just like he just looks like a human with like tattoos on his head, basically. It is a strange thing that I'm sure they're going to be asked about, and I would love to know what the deal with this is, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it stop me from looking forward to this.
Oh, for sure. But here's my thing. Here's my big thing. Are you ready for this? This has nothing to do with the actor that they cast. I'm sure he'll do a great job. I have no judgment yet.
Yep.
But Jason Isaacs was right there. He not only
Yes.
looks like the character, but he voiced the character. He was right there. And hey, listen, it might have been a scheduling thing. He might not have been interested. There's a bunch of reasons he might
They
not
had
be.
to have offered
but
it up to him
come
first.
on.
That is a
Like,
really,
come
really
on.
good point. I wonder what the deal with
He's
that is.
right there.
And he
He's
rules.
phenomenal.
He's such a good villain.
Listen, I've been in a room with him 2 times. Jason Isaacs 2 times, and I don't mean like.
Were there other people
like
in
a
the
big-
room, or was it just you two?
Yes,
Like,
but like 30 people. Like when I
have
say
you
like,
alone
Like cut off a
small-
lock of his hair or anything.
Listen, I was in awe of. He's charismatic as hell.
Did he
Very
smell
sweet guy. He's a good looking man. That's all I'm gonna say. Just like in person, if you don't think he's attractive, you see him in life and you're like, whoa, okay. He is so
okay,
charming.
I know who he is. I've never
He's
seen him.
so,
I've never
so
realized what he
charming.
looked like. He's
Oh,
in
yeah.
Enterprise.
Yes, he is. That's one of the ways I saw
Lucius
him. I was
Malfoy
he was
is
Lucius
probably what he's
Malfoy
best
is-
known for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
So
right. I didn't
he-
recognize him without the
he
hair.
was doing a press circuit. I saw him at Comic-Con in a very small press room. And then I saw him when I was working at Mashable. He was there to promote something, and I was in a room with him again, and I was just like, oh my god, he's lovely. Like when I tell you he's lovely, I mean he's a very sweet man, but my god, he's scary. Like he could be so scary so quickly, if he wants to. I mean, acting. What I'm saying is he's a good actor.
Yeah, it's
but
funny
he
because
has
I've heard the
that
same
air
thing.
about him. He's got that air about him that he could absolutely kill this role. So I'm wondering really why he's not. You know, I mean, I don't know if they blew their budget on,
It's Disney.
you know,
There is no official budget here.
But you're right. Like, whatever he was asking for, Disney, come on. You only get one shot at making a Kenobi series. You get one shot at this. You rewrote the whole thing because it wasn't good enough. You're telling me and again, I feel bad because I don't even know the actor's name who is playing the Grand Inquisitor.
Rupert Friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
We talked about Rupert Friend.
Yes.
Probably going to do a great job, and I don't mean to, like, push that aside. Oh, you haven't even seen his performance
I don't think
yet.
anyone's taking it that way. The guy voiced the character, and he's an amazing actor. Everyone would want to see that.
He looks like him. Like, think Jason Isaacs in that makeup with the head. Yeah, that's him.
Creepy.
Like,
creepy.
I don't know.
My only guess
I have
is
thoughts
that
about it, obviously.
is that it has something to do with pandemic issues, because we've seen lots of people and lots of schedules, and like with all the vaccination requirements that companies are requiring, like there have been a lot of conflicts on who gets what roles when they are running, what's going on, and things like that. That's I have no idea what any of the situation is like, but my guess is that it has something to do with pandemic interference on scheduling.
That or he just wasn't interested. That is also an option. Or this guy is just better. Who knows? We haven't seen it yet. But I just question that choice. And this trailer only reinforced that. It only made me go, he was right there, guys. Like, come on now. But I think that's enough of me talking about Jason Isaacs.
It's okay, buddy.
Thanks.
Okay.
So, well, I was gonna move us along. Besides the Grand Inquisitor, in canon, we've had, as far as I can tell, the second sister, the fifth brother, the sixth brother, the seventh sister, eighth brother, ninth sister, and 10th brother. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the characters. Obviously, we have numbers missing, so there's other characters we haven't seen, one of which we are introduced in this trailer, of the third sister, played by Moses Ingram, and she is Reva. She's the character without any, like, the facial headgear that we've seen with most of the other Inquisitors, besides the Grand Inquisitor.
We also see her on a new planet that's like very Hong Kong Blade Runner-esque, Dayu.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, is that what it's called?
Yep.
So she looks super awesome. I'm excited. It seems to be this is her show.
Yeah.
Like she is definitely the villain of the show, because we know where the Grand Inquisitor goes off from here, or at least later down in the timeline. But she's a completely blank slate. We don't know anything.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, I was kind of astounded by how much of her is in the trailer. I think she might be in it more than Ewan.
She probably is, actually.
That's interesting to me. But okay.
There's another, the Lothian Inquisitor that has the tendrils that we see walking around. We don't know their name or designation or history at all. We don't know anything about them. We just see them walking around looking at people like, I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah,
but
she
is.
is.
I'm guessing Reva is like the primary Inquisitor
antagonist?
hunting Obi-Wan.
Yeah, we also see the fifth brother in live action for the first time.
Which was
He's the one
cool
with the
because he was
hat.
big in Rebels.
Yeah. Yep. So we get 3 Inquisitors. Nobody's talking about that other Inquisitor that you just mentioned. And I brought her up before we started the podcast, wondering who she was, because I haven't seen anything about her.
No, yeah, I don't know, because the primary Inquisitors in Rebels, besides the Grand Inquisitor, or fifth brother that we see a lot of, and seventh sister. Seventh sister is the one that has the like the droids that like are always spying on people, and she's got the facial markings and tattoos. She's
a Mirialan.
Yes, and I really liked her, and she has the mask. She's one of my favorite Inquisitors. She was really interesting and super evil and mean. But yeah, seeing fifth brother in live action is really cool. And then
a notable absence in the trailer, except for his voice, is Vader. We don't see Hayden Christensen anywhere that I saw. Am I wrong, gentlemen? Are you going to look at me and tell me that I'm wrong?
I did not see him at all. I feel like somebody said they caught like a shadow of him, but I could be wrong.
Well, we hear him.
didn't.
We hear him, but that's it.
I'm glad they didn't show him in the trailer. I didn't want to see him. I'm expecting this to be some scary...
I don't want to see him. I'm angry.
I was gonna say, are you in a fight?
No, I just think
I don't want to see him.
I just think you'll take away from the moment if you show it in the trailer.
Right.
You know, like I want it to be like Jedi Fallen Order, where at the end you think everything's finally okay, and then you just hear the voice, the breathing,
just
and he
ruin the game.
drops
Yeah,
down.
I haven't gotten that far.
Me neither. That's
Anyways, that's what I'm hoping for. That when things finally seem like they're going to be okay in the last episode, we get this crazy confrontation between Obi-Wan and Vader.
That'll
Well,
be
we
cool.
know it's coming.
Yeah.
So
We know it's coming. That's a fact. So really, they had valuable trailer time to spend elsewhere. So fine. But
There's
yeah,
also this really peculiar, little scene around 108, 107, where there's a stormtrooper talking to a droid, and it flashes to the droid's hand or the stormtrooper's hand. It's hard to tell which, holding something. And there's seemingly like no explanation behind why they would zero in on this moment for the trailer. So of course, the internet is, and dedicated Star Wars fans are going crazy, and people are saying that they think that it's possible that this could be Captain Rex or something to do with the clone troopers that, got rid of their implants and turned their back on the Empire. And for the time period and what's going on, that's certainly possible.
that'd be dope. Like,
yeah.
Can we just say that real quick? If all of a sudden, surprise, Tamara Morrison, like, that'd be bananas. Or is Cody alive? Do we know where Cody is?
No, I don't think we do actually. Since he shot at Obi-Wan, I don't think we've seen Cody since Revenge of the Sith. I'm not.
Well,
I'd have to double check that, but I really
Looking
don't
it
know.
up.
if it's not Rex, it could be Cody. It could be anybody. But
So
that'd
while
be
you were
interesting.
looking that up, I wanted to bring up another blink and you miss it sort of scenes. At 123 on the trailer, there is Reva in the background facing us in very Vader-ish armor. I love her little shoulder pauldron looks a lot like Vader's. But we are behind a shadowy figure who we don't see the head of, holding a gun that is exactly like Han Solo's gun.
Oh, yeah, I did see this. That it looks like it could be Han Solo.
It looks like it could be Han Solo. I sent you guys a screenshot of it and heard that people were talking that, like, is that Han Solo? Because the gun is identical. And we don't see the character at all besides the vague outline of somebody holding a gun.
Yeah,
And so
it'd be
that-
interesting.
like I said, the timeline works out. This is a year
does.
after Solo, so if they could get Alden in, this could lead us into a Lando series theoretically.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I would actually really love that because he deserves so much better
I agree.
than what he got. I hate the treatment that Solo and that whole cast received. It is a criminally underrated film, and I love that movie so much.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see him kind of like Hayden, but not to the same extent. Get like a second chance almost in this.
Yes,
in this
exactly.
Series,
No, I think we talked about it a few months ago and how I was a little sour on it, but not because it was a bad movie, just because it wasn't for me the first time through. The second time through, like, okay, I really enjoyed it. I found the enjoyment out of it, and so I think I would love for those characters to come back, and I love the actors to come back. Like obviously, bring all of them back for Lando, of which we still have near nothing about.
Someone else that is pretty notable that makes an appearance in the trailer that we haven't spoken about at all. Owen Lars.
Oh yeah, which we knew he was in it, but seems like he might be in it a lot.
Owen and
seems like he
Beru
has,
are both in it.
and Aunt Beru,
I don't know
yeah.
if Beru's in the trailer, but
She's
definitely. Both the actors from the prequels are the same actors. They brought them
Great.
both back. So
Approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. There's just, it's such a short little trailer, but there's so much going on. It's like, what the heck? And I hesitate to be like, the fact that he's highlighted in the trailer like this is indicative of anything. But yeah, I mean, again, with Luke being in it as well, little baby Luke, there's the possibilities in 6 hours if it's 6 episodes. I'm very excited.
There's a scene of Riva kind of like rolling up on Owen in that, like, I'm guessing little cantina area. You see it for like a split second, like he kind of slides across the floor and she like slides in with her lightsaber extended out in one hand and confronts him.
yeah, and that's immediately after in the trailer. We see the feet of somebody dangling, theoretically dead, and so obviously Riva's trying to. My interpretation of it, obviously, as for what I mean, obviously, she's trying to ferret out Obi-Wan by killing people, because that's kind of what they're leading us to in the trailer, is that to ferret out the Jedi, you need to be terrible, terrible people.
Yeah. And it's notable here as well because every Inquisitor we've ever seen uses the design with the
Spinny boy.
the handle in the circle that they can use as a single blade, a double blade, or it can rotate, and they can also use it for flight. Like,
I love the look Nicole just gave. Wait, what?
like a helicopter? Like,
Yes,
pretty
exactly.
much, yeah.
get
Watch
the
Rebels.
heck out of here.
Watch Rebels.
Don't ask how it works.
Yeah,
That was
it
an
doesn't-
authentic reaction that you just, that was just like,
Physics are different in this
ma'am?
universe.
okay.
Yes, beams
Okay.
of light can carry you on air currents, apparently.
Yeah, something that's not physical. Sure, okay. Whatever, go on.
But something I have to look up though is where this falls in relation to Fallen Order, because
Fallen
There's a lot of
Order
talk about
is
this.
before this.
yes, I just mean like how far apart.
You give me 2 seconds, I could tell you.
Because there's Inquisitors that you fight in Fallen Order, in a big moment on the headquarters as well. So I'm wondering if they're going to reference any of that in this series, which would be really cool. Oh man, what if we see?
Yeah, he got there. Yes, the big question online is, what if we see people from Fallen Order in this show?
So Fallen Order takes place very shortly before the beginning of Rogue One and Solo, which would be about 4 or 5 years before this show.
Oh, give it to me, please.
A lot of people are thinking that might happen.
I just really want to see the BD droid. Is it BD-1? I forget. Yeah, it's BD-1. Cal's little droid, that adorable little dude.
I gotta play this game now.
It's so good.
I'm still waiting. I have my game/football room. It is right here. It has a mattress in it right now, and various equipment shoved into the room. So we also don't have a TV yet for there. But eventually, I will be able to play this game in about 10 years. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, so I would love to see BD and Cal and the former Jedi, I can't remember her name in this moment, that knighted Cal in the game, that was a former Jedi that suffered like immense trauma, like so many did, and left the Order. And the Night Sister, that would be cool, seeing a Night Sister in live action. I don't know that we've ever seen one in live action before. So there's a lot of really cool characters and lore from Jedi Fallen Order, and the timelines here are pretty perfectly placed to make it happen, but it's also only 6 episodes. It's not about them, but just to seeing them walk by, I would mark out for it.
We know that they are making a sequel to the Jedi Fallen Order game.
Yes, yeah.
They've announced that, and so that is definitely coming. So the characters, we don't know timeline, story, anything about it, but we know that they're making a sequel. So theoretically, if they wanted to tie this into the game, that would be a great reason to do it.
Yeah. And just because the timelines, they're so close together, and the characters are so heavily involved with the Inquisitors in that game and this series that I feel like just, marketing the game aside, which we know something Disney forces, there's just so many reasons for these to possibly intersect. But again, it's about Obi-Wan, only 6 episodes, so we'll see. Yeah. They also, really quick, before we get out of here and before I forget, they also have a scene where you see 2 escape pods zooming off. That is just there's nothing before or after that would make you think that it's connected. So I'm also wondering why they decided to include that.
Sometimes with these trailers, they just add things because they look cool.
Flavor.
That's true.
That's it.
Flavor and vibes. That's it.
It's we had this visual effect done. It looks cool. It fits into the flow of the trailer. You have no idea what it's doing. We don't care. That's all. Literally, that is all. A lot of times, what these are they are meant to throw you off a lot of times, just so that the show itself isn't spoiled. I don't want to know anything in the trailer about the show. I like the visuals. I like that stuff. I don't want to know what happens. I want to be surprised watching this show. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You didn't need to sell me on this show.
Right. I feel like shots like that are kind of just the nice little Jedi mind trick going, this looks cool and that's all you care about. And that's it. This doesn't mean anything. Move on. Move along. That's kind of what those shots are. They're filler vibe checks.
It could have been literally, you could have some of these shots be the over voice at the beginning of episode 1 giving you the background of what happened during the Clone Wars. And then the Jedi scattered that were left, and that's where the escape pods shoot out.
Yeah, who knows? But a good trailer.
But yeah, obviously it's it's a pretty good trailer. I think it's chalked up over 12 million views already in 4 days, and we just spent yeah, and I think we just spent 45 minutes talking about a minute and a half trailer. So
that's what I was thinking in my head. I'm we spend the same amount of time talking about a full episode that we spent talking about this 1 minute trailer. It's kind of hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we're all obviously super excited, and when you deliver something like this to the fandom about one of the most beloved characters and include all these other Easter eggs and super cool, exciting characters from various media, I mean, yeah, I feel like I could go on about this all day and the possibilities. I just cannot wait to see this. High hopes. But I'm just so happy to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan. I think out of every character and every live action, that might be my most beloved. He just is so good at it. Him and Mark Hamill, between the two.
Ariel Poof is insulted.
All right, that guy. I think that's going to do it for the day, though, guys. I got to go do some work. Jim has to go try to put his house together, and I think Nicole has some Jason Isaacs fan club stuff to do.
Yeah, I need to print membership cards.
Yeah.
He's still not responding to your texts. I don't understand.
He's not, it's okay. I get it. Well, that's all right. I think he's got better things to do.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it. We're going to get out of here. But thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show today. If you did, it just takes a second, and it helps us out immensely if you can leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and share the show with your friends. If you enjoy Star Wars and just nerdy stuff in general, we have a great Discord community through AIPT Comics, which this podcast is a part of. For $2 a month, you get access to Discord to talk about Star Wars and pretty much every other nerdy topic that you could imagine with a lot of really nice people. So patreon.com/AIPTcomics. You can also find us on Twitter at Talkin Tauntauns. And yeah, that is going to do it. It was a quick hour talking about Obi-Wan. Yeah, so that's going to do it, guys. Thanks again, and we'll see you at the next one.